I think I may have loved you too much.
Welcome back to Revirginized.
And just like that, today we are recapping episode 6 from season 3. I'm Candice B.
And I'm Jay like the letter. And Candice, Jennifer fucking Lewis. Jennifer fucking Lewis. I love that she was on the episode. I love that she made her little stellar appearance. I loved the shade that went back and forth. Well, not back and forth, but between Herbert's mom and her at the funeral. That was, it was great. But we have a lot to talk about with this episode. There was a lot going on, maybe too much going on. Candice, why did I start liking Aiden only to fall into disliking him all of a sudden?
When I tell you, Jay, I think that's a bunch of non-Aiden original Lover fans. I mean, it's the writing. What are they doing, Jay?
Honestly, we can't keep yelling at them. They don't care. We need to start yelling at somebody else.
You're right. We need to start yelling at MPK because literally I'm watching the episode and I'm like, what the fudge? What the fudge? What is happening right now? Like, things are crumbling right before my eyes. I said it last episode. Mentira, I said it 2 episodes ago. The people who did not used to like Aiden are loving him, okay? And they're going to hate him because of the writing. I mean, what was this whole, I cheated on you with Kathy? What are you saying?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
The thing is, you know what's funny? You've been bringing up the predictions that Carrie might cheat. And then all of a sudden, Aiden is the one that I don't consider this cheating, but I do consider this stepping out of the relationship. But what I did appreciate is Carrie coming back at him with her agreement, because apparently when they first made this short conversation, because they didn't really have the best communication about their agreement, they agreed on different things. And I'm so glad that they finally were able to bring that to the table and we were able to get the visualization of what this agreement really was for them. And it seems like they were very much different agreements to each of them.
I disagree with all of that. I really do, because I just feel like it's not authentic. I felt like it was it's not authentic. And I want to hear what the fans think, but I thought that was such a cop out. Like, oh, I didn't agree that I wasn't going to sleep with anyone. What? Are you kidding me? This is Carrie we're talking about.
You think it was like he said what he said and then she responded with that to like kind of like rebuttal?
No. I think it's, excuse my French, shitty writing. I think that she meant that, but it doesn't make sense to who her character is. Do you understand? Like, on one hand, her forgiving Aiden, albeit very quick, I think I kind of understood that too. They have a weird dynamic. They're almost in their 60s now.
Yeah.
I feel like a part of me still does think that Carrie would forgive Aiden for an indiscretion because she broke his heart in such a tremendous way.
Yeah.
However, the whole like, yeah, well, I was never gonna like not sleep with anyone for 5 years. I totally did not see that.
You know what?
I think that was lazy writing.
Now that you say that, my wheels are turning and I'm kind of thinking,
right?
what if, because I'm not thinking it was here. I have a whole different take on it. I think you and I see this episode completely oppositely, where now that you say that, it makes me think Carrie can have a selfish pettiness to her. And now I'm thinking in my head, what if she made that up right then and there to rebuttal to her being hurt about him sleeping with his ex-wife. And so she's now saying, wait a minute. Okay. Yeah, I forgive you because I didn't agree to that, in a way to like, I don't care, like to hurt him even more, because it would hurt him more for her to not care than for her to be hurt by it. You know what I mean? So I'm now thinking like, what if she made that up right then and there for that? Now, as far as the authenticity of it, I don't think it was very Carrie, but I did like the immediate, I'm thinking about it, I'm processing it. And you know what? I forgive you for it because I understand where it's coming from. I enjoyed that part. Everything else outside of that, it just felt weird. It just felt so uncomfortable to watch. It felt kind of, kind of, they inserted the neighbor, the downstairs neighbor. They inserted the ex-wife there. They inserted the Wyatt camp there. They inserted the him being hurt, the him not being okay with everything not going his way, the breaking of the window, Carrie's selfishness, the forgiveness. It was a lot of things within like a 6-minute situation.
It really was. And to me, I'm just like, you guys have to stop doing that. Like, you have to stop doing that. You got to slow it down and give us time to process what just happened.
Yeah.
Like you, and I also want to hear what the fans think, but like you, I did like the fact that, like, okay, she thought about it and she said to herself, I can forgive you for this. And I wasn't thinking that she was being petty, but I do like that idea. But you're right, it was too much happening. And on one hand, that's realistic too, right? Like, that happens. I love when Aiden is like, why isn't everything going my way? Right? Like, you almost see, you know, the Aiden that we fell in love with, the Aiden who always wants to please her,
Yeah.
who does always succumb to her. Because sidebar here, like, I never understood the Aiden hate, because they're like, he wanted to change her. No, this man changed a lot of his ways of being for her, and here he is doing it again. You know, and we see the Aiden that we love, the Aiden going like to Timbuktu to get this glass that she wants, all of these things, but then you ruined it.
Yeah.
Like you're ruining it. Like, oh, I slept with Kathy. Like, I didn't see that coming. I honestly thought it was going to be Carrie. But what pisses Carrie to cheat, by the way, what pisses me off is that I feel like this is what they're using to show us that it's going to be okay for Carrie to step up on Aiden.
Ooh.
Promise you. She is going to have an affair with this downstairs guy. They're already having dinner together, right? And that's another thing. Since when are they having fucking dinner together?
Well, I don't think there's a romance or an attraction there yet. I think there's a comfort. And I think that comfort's going to lead into an attraction that's going to lead into sex. And if they do that again, they're going to ruin what we have right now, because this episode already had enough with Miranda, Charlotte, and Lisa had so much already in this episode. Carrie didn't need this Aiden situation. Aiden popping up because he popped up. And if they were on this break, Carrie should have placed the boundaries of, well, I thought we were gonna take some time. I thought that, for him to call her to be like, oh, I'm gonna pop up. It's like, wait a minute, didn't we just make an agreement? Or, you know what I mean? That was already a bit out of place. But then him showing up and turning everything so left, it just felt weird. And I said this in the beginning of the season, it felt like they wanted to break up Aiden and Carrie. It felt like at the end of the season, we're going to get a ultimatum of Aiden and Carrie, and that ultimatum is going to lead to the final break. Like, we're probably never going to see Aiden after this season. And to add to that, I feel like they're building all this family stuff for Aiden, not to introduce Carrie into it, but to exit Aiden out. For the family and all the Wyatt stuff to be Aiden's way of stepping away from all of this. And all of that already felt a little out of place. But yeah, it was just hard to keep up with everything that was going on with them. I didn't enjoy it. And I would have replied to what you said about you never understood the Aiden hate. As someone who never liked Aiden in the show, I felt like Aiden was always a good guy. Carrie didn't deserve a good guy. Carrie is not the type of woman to be with a good guy. Number one, she's going to ruin a good guy. That's what she's going to do, because all she's going to bring is chaos. And number two, she's going to get bored of the good guy. And the good guy is just going to try to keep up with her, and it's just going to go left. That's what I always felt about Aiden.
I think you're onto something there too, because to talk about that a little more, there are a lot of fans who didn't like Aiden because they felt like he was too safe.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, he's too boring in the sense that he doesn't add the drama. And so it wasn't necessarily like, I don't like the character, I don't like the actor per se, so much as Carrie thrives on chaos because she's a hot ass mess. And Aiden brings that stability. Because I think we all can agree, like, he brings a bunch of stability to her life. And I think you're right on that, but it just pisses me off because I'm starting to agree with you. Like, in the beginning, I was like, no, Jay's out of his, like, he's out of his shit. Like, there's no way they're going to break them up because she's 60.
Yeah.
Gosh damn it. Like, what are we doing? Like, you need stability. You have no children, miss. But I mean, if it's one thing that the writers, aka NPK, will do, is they will fuck shit up for no apparent reason. So I feel like you're right. And it just bothers me because when he said Wyatt didn't want to get on the plane and he still showed up anyway, I was like, yes, yes, he's finally letting Wyatt know, like, look, you need to handle what you need to handle. I'm going to go see my girl.
Wait.
You have your fit?
But Wyatt did get on the plane. Wyatt got on the plane and left. He didn't want to, but he got him on the plane. He got him on the plane. And then that's why on the drive back, Kathy was crying and saying, what did we do wrong? And that's why they slept together when they got back home.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
But it was a shift. It was a shift when the whole Wyatt thing happened because I was like, oh, another thing? Like, oh, Wyatt could have just got on the plane and left. They had to add, hey, he didn't want to get on. It was just unnecessary layering.
Thing is unnecessary. And like, before we even move on from Carrie, I just want to say, like, I did appreciate Aiden's honesty because he told her immediately, like, Aiden must be a Taurus because we're going to tell you immediately. Like, we cannot, if we've wronged you, we're just going to tell you. And even that, though, felt a little bit like, even that felt like, I don't know. It just felt like there's so much to the conversation that they clearly didn't have that we are missing between Aiden and Carrie's agreements.
Yeah.
Because he was just like, yeah, I slept with Kathy and I'm really sorry. And I'm so glad he did that. But then Carrie like, oh, well, I didn't say I was going to like not sleep with someone. And he was like, oh, I thought that's our agreement. I'm like, guys, make it make sense.
Yeah.
Like throwing this relationship down the drain when it has so much potential to be good. Like, I loved that she forgave Aiden because he seems to be someone who's very sincere. Like, he told her right away, and I firmly believe that he won't do something like that again, right? But it just feels like they're just making a mess and a mockery out of like this whole relationship. I don't know.
I think there
throw it in the toilet.
You and I have said it before. There was a beautiful way to display the Aiden and Carrie thing. I just don't think they're bringing it, and I don't think they're going to. But there were so many ways to bring this so beautifully. It's just they didn't grab me. They definitely didn't win me over with this situation. But enough about Carrie. I feel like the Carrie downstairs neighbor Aiden situation is just going to be a bubble that they're probably going to exist in for the next few episodes, and they're going to try to spread that outside and into other narratives that we're going to get to see. I don't know. But with that, I wanted to ask you something before we move on to anything else. Do you think Charlotte should have told Carrie about Harry's cancer immediately?
That's actually a very good question. It's like a yes and a no. At first, a part of me thought she should have because that's the Charlotte that I know. The Charlotte that can't keep a secret. So like my brain was expecting her to tell Carrie right away. And when she didn't, I'm like, when is she going to tell her? But then I don't think she should have because I think Carrie doesn't know how to really not make things about her. And I hope I'm not saying that in a mean way.
No. That's absolutely what I thought as well. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think she would have sympathized, but it wouldn't have been like selfless Carrie. I'm running to Charlotte's aid. Charlotte, how are you doing? Charlotte, how can I help? Charlotte, I did this research.
Well, Carrie doesn't do that.
Carrie here. Right. And she wouldn't have. Right. And so I feel like if she would have told Carrie, I wouldn't have seen the support I would have wanted to see from Carrie. And I think she wouldn't have either. So I like that she didn't. But I did. Oh my God, it broke my heart when she was in the store and she was like buying the Depends.
Yeah.
And she broke down. And I'm like, yes, now's the time to sell Carrie.
Well,
because she caught you.
That's what made me ask you the question because it felt the past couple of episodes felt like Charlotte was carrying a lot. This was a lot to keep for Charlotte. And I don't think it was about keeping a secret. I don't think it's about that at all. I think it was more like I saw her carrying so much that if she would have vented to somebody, because once she told Carrie about this in the store, you could tell that she it felt like a weight came off her shoulders. It felt like, oh my God, I get to tell somebody. And then she gave all the details immediately after. And Carrie was like, I promise you I won't tell anybody. I won't tell anyone what you tell me. It felt like, Charlotte, this is somebody that you can tell these things to. But also, yes, I agree with you. Carrie is not the type to not make things about her, number one. And she's also not the type to drop everything and go rush to other people's aid. People do that to her. Miranda will be there for Carrie no matter what. Charlotte will drop everything, even her family for Carrie. So even Samantha will drop her job for Carrie.
Hell
so
yeah.
I don't think Carrie's ever been that
hell yeah.
character. But as far as Charlotte and everything that she's dealing with, I feel like it was a good way to have a release point to tell somebody and be able to vent. What's your thoughts on this whole Harry-Charlotte situation?
I love that you asked that question because Evan, I think his last name is Handler, the actor who plays Harry, he actually posted something on Instagram that said, it was somebody commenting and they were like, if Harry dies, I'm not like watching anymore. And he was like, me either. But that's how I feel. I feel like I love Harry so much that if he passes away, it's going to be like a
It would
no
make
for me.
no sense.
No sense. Like, I think this is the drama that we need. And for all of our fans watching, like, and I'm sure some of you guys agree with us, we've been saying, like, we need some more juice with Charlotte and Harry. And I feel like this is the juice that we need. It's relatable. It's realistic. Someone's getting cancer, but don't kill him, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, let us see what people really go through, even if it's a slow process. You know, let us relate to it.
Girl.
You know, I don't want to see Harry go out.
You know they're not going to give us no.
Bad...
You know they're not going to give us any like journey through cancer, and they're gonna show us him going to the hospital to get a surgery, and then him at home. And girl, that's gonna be the cancer journey. They lightweight every single serious thing in this situation in the show.
Absolutely.
But yeah, for me, I wish they would not have shown Harry in such a geriatric like frame. I feel like Harry could go through cancer. He does not need to be this Harry, because I feel like we already got this with Steve. We already killed Mr. Big. It's so much that we got for these men that are not going. Anthony's bullshit with Giuseppe. I feel like the men are already so held back in the show. Harry could have been the image of, no, he has it all together. He has great health. He's financially well. He's successful. He's just dealing with this situation and he's going to thrive. Even if he goes through a long journey, that's fine. But many people go through this journey and they're not completely changed by it. And yes, I'm not saying that there's people who aren't. I'm just saying that for show purposes, Harry could have been the person that would have been seen thriving through this. And I don't appreciate that they show him so hindered by his health when they keep saying he's in good health, he's doing well.
And meanwhile, he's walking like this.
Yeah, he's like, holding on to Charlotte to walk. Episode. I don't know if you noticed, he's holding Charlotte's hand and holding himself up with Charlotte.
I didn't even peep that. Ugh. You know, I'm just remembering like last episode when he was like kind of like walking like one of my vampires in The Sims. And I'm like, okay, what is happening right now? Like, why can't you guys just make them age gracefully? And for him to be in such great health, why is he like this? Like, it pisses me off. But
I don't get that either.
What I did like is, I like the whole, like, Charlotte is trying so hard to respect his wishes. She really is.
Yeah.
And I love seeing that because it goes back to before. Like, I feel like, Charlotte would have been like, guys, Harry has cancer. Oh my God. Everyone in the restaurant, stop what you're doing. Right? Like, she's trying so hard. And I do like their banter back and forth when he was like trying to watch the Knicks game.
Yeah.
And he's like, Charlotte, no game. Right? Like, I love seeing like those organic, true to the character, like banters.
Yeah.
That we're so used to. And I will say this. You had asked if I felt like she should have told Carrie. No, but a part of me, and I'm going to say two things on this. A part of me feels like she should have told LTW because I feel like LTW is her rock. But a part of me also wonders, hello, what about your other best friend, Miranda? You could have told Miranda, but then I'm reminded of how waste of a character Miranda is. What is she doing in the show, Jay?
Yeah,
What is she doing in the
they're
show?
barely filming together. They're barely. I noticed this episode more than ever that these girls are really not getting together for more than an hour to film. And they filmed the bakery scene, and I don't know. It didn't give the girlfriend group vibes. But
Not at
Miranda,
all.
we said it. I said it in the last episode that Seema was going to help Miranda find the apartment, and Miranda's being a difficult client, and I'm glad that she ultimately found her apartment. But you know what weirded me out again? Her taking her girlfriend so into consideration, this brand new relationship or brand new situation is so into consideration when making a decision to buy a home. Where does that fit in there?
When I tell you it, on one hand, I'm like, oh, look, Miranda's evolving, right? Like she's thinking of a partner and whatnot. But then on the other hand, I'm like, ma'am, you give everybody else grief for wanting to compromise with their
Yeah.
partners, aka Carrie, all the time, aka Charlotte, when she was a Trey, wanting to quit her job. You give everybody grief for thinking about their partners, and the first thing you do is drive Seema crazy because you didn't want to spend this money to then say, oh, I'm going to spend $150,000 because, what about the dog?
Yeah.
What about the dog?
Yeah.
My girlfriend has a dog. Honestly, she drove me so crazy because you're being difficult.
Yeah.
You're saying you can't get this apartment because there's no dogs. I mean, no, you want a new apartment. You want something that's cheaper, right? Because you will not be haggled with.
Yeah.
She finds you something cheaper, but then you're like, oh my God, but no dogs.
Yeah,
And
which
my
is
girlfriend
it
for
was
like
so
2
weird.
days.
And these accommodations were so unnecessary. But in the Miranda space, I did love seeing Brady. Oh my God, I love Brady. I love Brady. I don't know if we had seen. I don't think we had seen Brady in his own. I don't think we had seen Brady get shown, and I think I like Brady. He's respectful. He has a cute personality. He's nice. I like Brady more than Miranda.
1,000%. But what kind of pissed me off is like, dude, why are there no more interactions with you and your child?
Yeah.
You're so worried about finding the perfect apartment for this woman and her dogs. What about for Brady? Like, tell me more about Brady. Like, Miranda, I love you, and I really do. That's what pisses me off. But you have a whole son, a whole child.
Yeah.
Like, can we see more of that? Because you're right. Such a dope kid. And I love that actor, by the way. Like,
yes,
he
he's
plays
so
Brady
good. I
so
will say
well.
there were 4 standouts for me in this episode, and I will say them at the end. But he was one of them. I loved the Brady portrayal. I really liked it.
But can I ask you, what is your take on Joy? I'm starting not to love her as much as I did because I knew she was going to be her girlfriend at some point,
Okay.
right? We called it. But
You
what's your
you did. You
take
called
on-
it last season, right?
Yes, yes. How do you feel about her?
I think they took a
Yeah.
character that already existed and kind of twirled them into Miranda's girlfriend. But I don't think I think maybe this is Miranda's starter girlfriend. Maybe this is a place where they're going to exist for a little bit, but I think there's so much wrong with their chemistry. I don't think they made this woman be this powerhouse TV personality. Then they dropped her down to a dog owner who's a little bit questionable. And then it's like, I don't know how I feel about people with kids, and I don't know, the character's not fully formed, and because they're not fully formed, I think the relationship feels a little bit loose. It doesn't feel fitting. It doesn't feel solid. It doesn't feel strong. So I don't like it.
I agree with you. I'm also starting not to like it because on one hand, I'm loving that Miranda's compromising, like all the things that she wouldn't do with Steve, all the things she gave her friends grief for, right? She's starting to do because you could tell like she's whipped over her, right? But I wouldn't be surprised if this girl just like rips the carpet from under her.
I want that
and
to
then we
happen.
Yeah,
I want that to
why?
happen. I want this woman to take a job opportunity that takes her away from Miranda and is like, oh, well, this is my career. I don't know what you were
Yeah.
thinking, but I want Miranda to feel distraught. And I want her to live in that feeling for a while. I want her breakup with her to be what pops the emotional bubble and brings the Steve stuff, the Chase stuff, and then she breaks down and cries. And because Miranda is no longer this alpha strong woman that we've gotten to know for years, they've taken that away from her. I feel like I
Agreed.
want emotionally broken down Miranda to kind of rebuild her into whatever she's going to be for the rest of the show. I don't like this relationship for her. I want Miranda to exist in the Brady space because Brady brings something so fresh. I loved when he came over to them and she felt like somebody different just because he was there. She didn't do anything different, but she felt like someone different just because he was there. I like that.
I like that too. And it's something about the actor who really brings like Brady home. Like he's so
Yeah,
warm,
yeah,
so loving. And I feel like, they owe that to us to give us more context because we grew up with these characters, but they have kids, right? Carrie, her context is always going to be relationships because she has no kids.
yeah,
But let's be for real. We've gotten to know so much about Rock. We've gotten to know so much about Lily, right? And dare I even say with LTW, we had the whole like her son scene with the girlfriend and the girlfriend who we don't like, but we have nothing on Brady. And Brady really is an essential character because he was the first kid,
yeah,
right? Like, there was this huge thing with Brady. Like, he's the one who like got Steve and Miranda back together when they realized they loved each other.
yes.
Still, right? Like, she got pregnant off of one ball, right? Like, there's so much. Brady's so pivotal, and I want them to do it right
Yeah.
because I think you're right. I think we need to focus a little less on the relationship and like just think about Miranda, what it is, what's going on with you, Miranda?
Yeah.
Are you the problem?
Yeah. I think she needs to
Right?
come to
Like,
that realization at some point.
and then your family.
Agreed. And the Brady actor is Niall Cunningham, and I think he brought something amazing. I think what we loved about this was all from the actor. The actor did something with that character that made it feel so fresh. And in regards to the acting for this episode, I do want to say something, and it's a critique, but at the same time, it's a compliment because Nicole Ari Parker. Nicole Ari Parker is an amazing actor. And when I say amazing, I don't give those credits to just anyone. I am a movie fan. I am a fan of film. I am a fan of performance. I am a fan of everything glamorous about a production, right? Which is what got me to step into production. I'm a fan of so much TV and so much directing. I'm a fan of so many directors that have done so much great work. But when I see great acting, I almost paused myself to just study it for a bit. And something that happened in this episode with Nicole Ari Parker, she was giving a beautiful performance of her character. I think her acting was absolutely amazing. But what happened was the editing chopped that up and presented it to us in a way that acting was so diluted. And let me tell you how I arrived at this.
Tell me.
When Lisa was in the studio and she was working and she put her phone on mute and all that, that was cute. Nicole Ari Parker is very good at channeling Lisa Todd Wexley. I felt that when Herbert came in and gave the news of her father passing, she went into a state where she performed the emotion, but they didn't let us see it. They didn't let us see it. As soon as he told her what happened, we see her reacting. We see her saying something back to Herbert, like, no, not my father, or something like that. And we didn't see Nicole Ari Parker live in that emotion. Whereas you can see that she did. You can see that while she was filming, she did that. But the editing chopped it up to where, oh, your dad died. Oh, not my dad. And then all of a sudden crying, all of a sudden. And you could tell that there was a space where she gave us that performance. And then we hop over to her reacting to the email. And then we hop over to the funeral and her walking. There was so much that you could feel that Nicole Ari Parker gave to the camera, and when she was on stage and they cut the camera out when she was saying I can't continue, I would have loved to have seen that, because she was performing in this episode, and I felt like the editing took that and took it away. And it goes back to our conversation about Sarah Jessica Parker is absorbing the entirety of the stellarness of the show, and it's the production is all Sarah Jessica Parker, and I feel like they did not give her the credit that she deserved. And I'm talking about Nicole Ari Parker for that performance, and she deserved it. She deserved to have a chunk of the episode given to her because of how much she went through during this. And I feel like they pulled it out so much, but I loved her performance in this. I loved it. I just wish I would have seen all of it.
Yeah, I mean, you said all of that so beautifully well. And at one point I was gonna like disagree with you. And so I'm like letting you, finish. I'm hearing what you're saying, and I'm like, holy moly, like, yes, you're right. Like, she gave so much. And I remember seeing it and saying to myself, I wish we had like POV episodes where like this episode is just gonna be LCW.
Oh my
This episode is gonna
God,
be Charlotte.
yes.
This episode,
Capsule
like, I remember
episodes.
Yes. And I remember saying that when I watched her, because I'm like, oh my God, she's killing this. And she made me really want to just watch her.
Yes.
Right? Like when she was talking to Jennifer Lewis, who's so amazing, by the way. I mean, she never changed.
Baby.
But like just that whole like scene in the diner and them going back and forth.
Yeah.
Or her with Herbert's mother, who I was hoping she would slap at one point. I was like, yes, LTW, yes. And it almost felt like I wasn't watching and just like that anymore. Right? Like I knew I was watching it, but it almost felt like a different version of it.
Oh my God, yeah.
And you're right. And you're so right. And I knew you were gonna say that. I just knew you were gonna say it goes back to SJP. And it does. And really quick, that kind of reminds me of Seema, because once again, she's non-existent in this episode. But I remember saying to myself, LTW is a beloved character. I don't know how Nicole Ari Parker does it. Actually, I do. She's just great. But I can't imagine anyone else playing this role. And I just feel like she's not going to get the credit that she deserves.
Whoa.
And she overly acted in this episode without wanting to. And it was just great. I agree. I fully agree. And even down to like the fashion, like just to get into that a little bit. I was gonna make a post today, but I'm gonna save it for tomorrow. Her and Aiden like dressed down, and they looked so cute, even though he's wearing high waters. And my post was gonna be like, only they can, bring fashion to the funeral. Like it was gonna be something like that, right? And it's just like, yeah, like Carrie, you had to steal the show even for the funeral, right? Like your whole outfit is just like
looked amazing when she walked into the theater and she did that strut, because she was strutting into those theater chairs. She looked amazing. And Jennifer Lewis with I don't know if that was a poncho. I don't know if that was a part. I don't know what you call that, but she looked amazing. She looked absolutely amazing. I loved how they looked for it. I don't know. I just really wanted Lisa to be manifested in this episode, and I feel like something was chopped off of Lisa in this, and we gave her storyline so much weight with the death of her father, but then they took so much away from her with chopping up her performance. And I'm like, wait a minute, why do you want to give her this big story but then not allow her to live in it? And I don't know, it kind of angered me a bit, because I want to get the full thing. You know what I mean? And if we have Nicole Ari Parker acting the way that she does, I want to get all of it.
We're never going to get it. And to be honest, like, I'm glad that we got this much, because let's be for real, she had a good chunk of the episode. Yeah. She really did. Her storyline was great. Yes, I feel like in some ways it was under versus over, like a little underwhelming. Like I feel like we could have had a little more. But we're not going to get more than that. And I'm going to call it right now. Like, I feel like the next few episodes to come, we're going to get less and less of her. But what I appreciated in this was how she still incorporated like the friendship. right? Like the first thing she did, I gotta call Charlotte. Charlotte, my dad died.
Yeah.
And I love just seeing how Lisa's arc went into Charlotte's arc of like overly worrying about Harry and whatnot. Like I love the way that that was written. I love the way that she leaned on Charlotte for that,
Yeah.
because that's her rock. But we're not going to see too much of her because it just goes back to what she said. And I promise you, I feel like if you look at like the analytics or whatever, like I'm sure so many people tuned in like this part, where so many people are loving this. This might be like the most played episode.
Well,
Who
you know,
knows?
this was the
Because
highest
I know-
rated episode of the season.
How did I know? I'm making a guess. How did I know?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's because the authenticity of those characters, right? Like I feel like Carrie's not being really authentic to herself in this episode, but Charlotte is, right? The LTW that we got to know is. And I just feel like that's what we want to see. Like that's Sex in the City.
I agree.
Right? Like that
I absolutely
friendship
agree.
part that we're missing.
Yeah.
That friendship part. And I feel like we're not going to get any more of this. I'm sorry.
That's upsetting. That is
so
upsetting to think
sorry.
about, because I really wish that would have been shown with this episode, that they're going in a different direction. And even us having predicted this a while back, we got it with Seema. Seema felt like a background character that was filling in gaps to other people's storylines. Seema is supposed to be in this journey to build her firm, and we are getting none of that. We got that little scene in the car, which meant absolutely nothing. It had no weight for anything. She was talking to the driver.
Nothing. But she is hilarious.
Yeah,
hilarious.
sure, but that's more the actor than the character, because when you think about it, we're not becoming familiarized with Seema right now, and she has this big task that she has on hand, but we're not getting to see that. We're not seeing any of that. And yes, she got to help Miranda with her finding her apartment, but that was her being in addition to Miranda. We are not seeing her with Carrie. We're not seeing her in the girl group as we would like. And it's starting to feel like what we predicted, but it feels a little funky to experience it. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does make sense, but yeah, it does make sense because it's exactly what you were predicting. It's like she's too big of a character, and they're gonna just like fizzle her out, because let's be for real. I feel like in the beginning, in my opinion, right? Like they brought her in because she was a Samantha replacement. No one can tell me different. They wanted the views. They wanted the viewers. They got a strong actress, right? And she was the filler, right? But then I feel like we got used to her. They introduced her, whatever. She's great. Now she's too great.
Yeah.
Now people really enjoy seeing Seema, right? And listen, I can be wrong, but it just really felt like that. Like, who are we gonna bring into the show to give us Samantha vibes so people can watch? Now she's here. She's too big. We can't have that. We can't have that.
But that's when you bring. That's when you bring a D, E, F list actor to portray the character. You don't bring these big names. Well, not big names, but like these strong performers to play these characters that you're just going to water down.
No, I disagree. I agree with you, but I disagree. And like, from like a marketing standpoint and whatnot, no, you are going to get a strong character, right? Like you're going to get someone who you know can bring this role to life, who you know can step in as a filler, because you want the ratings, you want people to watch. And honest to God, I hate that we're having this conversation, because I hate that we're getting into like the politics of it all and like the behind the scenes of it all. But to be honest, I feel like that's what they were doing. You want someone strong who you're going to be like, oh wow, like she's sexual enough. Oh wow, she reminds me of Samantha, of Kim Cattrall. Right? Like let's put her in there. And she is a well-known, actress. So I think for them it made sense. You want to bring someone strong, right? And let's not forget, they brought in two strong characters, right, to make up for Samantha. Yes, Sarita Choudhury is like the main Samantha component, but you also brought in Nicole Ari Parker, who is A-list in her own right. I mean, she's just the bomb.
Absolutely.
Because you wanted all these ratings, but now that we have them, it's like you can't let them get too big.
But that's what my issue is. You brought Sarita and Nicole and they are these big performers. They are these strong performers. So what are you going to tell them? Oh, don't be as strong of a performer as you are. That's where I'm coming from. It's the reason that it's upsetting is because I want greatness in these roles. Okay, so I get greatness, and it's like no, but don't be too great because the show is about this other girl, and she needs to be the one that's shown as great. And it's like, wait a minute, so why did you bring me here? That's where the problem is for me because Sarita's fourth in the cast list. Fourth, she's being downgraded to fifth, sixth. And it's like, wait a minute, why is she there then? What are you giving her?
She's Anthony. Like literally, she's Anthony. And I think what pisses me off, not that Anthony is like, no disrespect to Mario Cantoni, like not that he's like a D-list actor.
Yeah. None of this disdain is towards Mario. It's all towards Anthony.
Yeah, no, actually not. He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I wish they would, like we keep saying, like they should give him more of a role.
He deserves it.
She's a little things that we've been saying. He deserves it. But I feel like they just don't know how to write these characters well. And but also it goes back to like, what's their main purpose? You're trying to hook us with an audience, but then it's like you can't let them get too big at the same time. And I'm with you. Like I feel everything that you feel. Like what's the purpose? But I think that's their purpose. Because at the end of the day, it's like, okay, look at Carrie. But here's the thing that's true to Carrie. Love Carrie to death. Everyone knows. She's CB, I'm CB, right? But Carrie is a selfish character. And she works that way, right? She works that way. Carrie on her own, we don't want to see that all the time.
No.
We just don't.
We don't.
We don't. We want to see everything else. And dare I say, I get pissed because even Samantha has more of a role than Seema.
Yes.
Because let's be for real, whenever we see her texting Samantha,
the whole episode is about that. Yeah.
Exactly. She has more of a spot and she's not even here.
Yeah.
So it's like, it does piss me off. And I really want to know what the fans think about this. Like, definitely, our viewers watching this, please comment below, like, what you think. Do you agree with us? What are your thoughts? Because it just seems like I have no hope for the rest of this season.
Oh my God.
When it comes to two beloved characters.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I see some storylines that are going to develop that they're painting the picture for that I know we're not gonna like. I know we're not gonna like them. And I guess that gives us our topic for the after show. And now I know what I want to ask you during the after show. But yeah, it was a weird episode to watch. The word for me is weird. Everything felt weird about this episode. It was too diluted. It felt like this could have been a 2-episode situation where they could have given us more space to live in some of the stuff that were happening, but we didn't really get that luxury. But yeah, that's as much as I have for this, and I'm going to step right into rating it. For me, this episode was a 2.5. As much as it's the highest rated episode in the season, I see why. And it's because we get a much wider manifestation of everything that's going on. Everybody was shown. We touched on all the storylines. Nothing was kind of like set, except for Charlotte's kids. Nothing was left out of this. So I can see why it was the highest rated episode, but I did not like it. I didn't like what they gave us. I liked the way it looked in the menu, but when it arrived, the plate looked a mess. It looked crazy. Were you?
Right, like they didn't decorate the plate as well.
Yeah, they just tossed everything in there. Yeah,
like they just like, hello, it's all our presentation. Honestly, I'm gonna agree with you. I choose see why it was the highest rated episode because it had so much potential. Even Carrie's like dynamic with Aiden. At some point, I was like, yeah, keep going. But then they just messed it up with just that one little part. They just messed it up, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't even sound like Carrie. Like, I'm gonna cheat on you, bro. Like, so I'm gonna give it a 2.5. In my heart, I feel like it had potential to be a 4.5.
Absolutely.
But but I'm gonna leave it at a 2.5.
Yeah, this was the end of the first half, and everything they had the potential to make this episode incredible. This episode could have been a good 8 on IMDb. But I can see it's even though it's the highest rated, it's still a 6.8, which, hello, that tells you something. I hope you're listening to that.
They're not.
Yeah, I know.
They're
They really
not.
don't.
Honestly, they
They
need to go on a strike.
the care has
Go
left the
on
building.
strike. Take a writer's strike, please.
No, girl.
And
There's
so
no one there
for
to
real.
strike. There's no one there to strike. But
It's just NBK.
with that, this is where we're gonna leave it. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We want to remind you of our giveaway. We are at the end of the season. We're giving away over $100 in merch. To enter, all you need to do is watch all of our episodes, like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you follow us on our socials, Revirginized Pod on most of it. And if you have any hard time finding the links, just visit revirginizedpod.com, where you will find all the links to everything. Make sure to visit our merch shop at shop.revirginizedpod.com to get all of our latest merch. Candice, I'm ready to move on to the after show.
Let's do it.
All right, we'll catch you all on the next one.
Revirginized is a production of J. Breyer Allen, hosted by Candice B., produced and co-hosted by J like the letter.